All right, guys, good morning. I have a Saturday morning editorial for you. It doesn't happen very often, but I do have a Saturday morning editorial. I came across this story, and I just had to share it with all of you. It's a disgusting story, but it's one that I had to share. It's about an NYPD officer, and I'm going to give it to you, and then I'm going to maybe comment on it after. I am going to put a link to this whole story so you can read it for yourself in the description box below, as well as you can comment if you want on how you feel about this story. It's a bad one, man. So let's go to New York and talk about Q13 Fox. Thank you, Q13 Fox, for the story. A New York Transit police officer and his fiancée were arrested Friday and charged with murder in connection with the death of the officer's 8-year-old son, Suffolk County Police said Friday. Michael Valva, close to vulva. Michael Valva, 40, and Angela Polina, 42, were both charged with second-degree murder. The couple allegedly left Valva's son, Thomas, overnight in the unheated, unfinished garage of their Long Island home last week, Suffolk County Police Commissioner Geraldine Hart said in a press conference. After finding him unresponsive, Valva called police, saying Thomas had fallen in the driveway while waiting for the bus, Hart said. That's Geraldine Hart. When police arrived, Valva was performing CPR on Thomas in the home's basement. Thomas was transported to Long Island Community Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. Geraldine Hart said the temperature that night had been 19 degrees and Thomas's body temperature was 76 degrees. The medical examiner had ruled his death a homicide with hypothermia as a contributing factor, she said. Geraldine Hart said, quote, "We have determined that Thomas was never in the driveway that morning, and he suffered head and facial injuries that were not consistent with his father's account." Valva has been a police officer in New York City since 2005, the department confirmed, and Detective Sophia Mason said he has been suspended without pay, according to her. Without pay. Both Valva and Polina have pled not guilty, said Sheila Kelly, a spokeswoman for the Suffolk County District Attorney's Office. Both are still in custody after prosecutors applied for them to be held without bail. Paulina's attorney Matthew Toohey told CNN that while Thomas's death was a tragedy, she did not play a role in his death. Toohey said, quote, "I think that the case against her is extremely weak. It is purely speculation and conjecture at this point." Valva's attorney, Austin Mangan, declined to comment. Besides Thomas, the couple had custody of Valva's other sons, ages 6 and 10, and Paulina's 6-year-old and 11-year-old twin daughters. They're twins, 6 and 11. Geraldine Hart said police reviewed audio and video recordings captured by the home's indoor-outdoor home surveillance system and determined that the couple were closely monitoring the activities and conversations of the 6 children. Police believe that Thomas and his older brother were deprived of food and kept in freezing temperatures as punishment, Geraldine Hart said. She was quoted as saying, "We are still investigating the extent of the abuse and if it extended to all the children." The children were removed from the home on January 17th of this year. The Suffolk County Department of Social Services said it had investigated multiple complaints against the household, including a petition for the child neglect in 2018. A judge court-ordered home supervision and mandated that Valva and Paulina enroll in a positive parenting program. I don't think a positive parenting program is going to help them at this point. But it's just, what really gets me about this. Now, I know that there are parents that abuse and neglect their children from all walks of life, all occupations, all humankind, and so forth. But what really troubles me about this particular case is that it involves an NYPD transit officer. That's right, somebody that's authorized to carry a gun on his hip, has a badge on his chest, and so therefore he can, exert his authority to beat someone with a nightstick or a baton, as they say, or pepper spray someone, or even use his handgun to shoot someone and just put in the police report that, well, it was a justified use of force. And in many cases would be justified by the union and the internal affairs and so forth. So my point is, here's a guy that's allegedly abusing these children. It resulted in the death of one. And my question is, how many people on the street has he abused as a police officer? Does this guy have anger issues? Does this guy got head? What's going on here in this guy's freaking medulla oblongata that he's a cop in New York, and we've heard so many bad things about NYPD anyway. Now we got this here. So that's my biggest question, I guess, is just the moral of the story, if you will, is how many people has this guy abused as a police officer if he's willing to abuse his own children, if this happens to come out as true. Because again, her lawyer said, it's not, what was the word that he used? Speculation. So we will use the word allegedly and the words allegedly. But again, and I don't mean to beat this into the ground. I'm just trying to wrap my head around this. What's going on with this guy? Valva. Always record the police, guys. Always, always, always record the police. Because how many people have been hit, beat, or punched by this guy as a police officer and nobody was recording? I know that's a hypothetical, but it kind of goes along the lines of what we're reading right here. I mean, it's not just like I'm making something up. It's kind of substantiated here with some allegations. If these allegations come out to be truth and fact, we got a cop that was on the street with an anger management issue and a self-control issue. I want to know what you guys think. Community Leo Watch, watching Leos. That's law enforcement officers from coast to coast in your nation, the United States of America. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I need my coffee, guys. Let me go drink it. I'm just trying to be annoying to those of you who say your voice is annoying. Thank you guys for watching. Happy weekend. Have a great weekend. I got to go do laundry and breakfast and everything else. I will talk to you later.